Hey everybody, this is Jesse from Grants Pass Boys and Girls Club. I got another map to show you. I love maps and I got a huge one from the Oregon bookstore. Look at this sucker, it is ginormous. All 50 states, everywhere, we got the East Coast going on. We have all the way to the West Coast. Let's look at Oregon and find out where we are in Grants Pass real quick. Oh, you can see Portland, Columbia River, going down state capital, Salem, Eugene. Hey, follow it down. There we are, Grants Pass, near the border of California. Let's check out the legend or the key on this map. It's kind of down here on the bottom, a little small, but starts with some boundary lines. You have your freeway and highway are red. You got the star circle symbol for the capitals, state capitals. Over here, this is important. This is a scale. So if you had a ruler, or you could kind of measure it out on your pinky, maybe from my knuckle to my end of my pinky is 150 miles. So maybe if we were measuring let's see how far in Oregon is Grants Pass to Eugene. That's about my pinky length from my knuckle to my end. So just a quick reference. Let's see. Yeah, that's about probably 100 and maybe 20 miles or so. And then we have some mountain ranges and time zone boundaries, forests and lakes. Urban areas are yellow, as you can see, Miami, Fort Lauderdale. These are cities, Tampa. Let's find our nation's capital. Do you know where it's located? Oh, it's on the East Coast. Let's fly in. Looking for the nation's capital. I bet you spotted it. That's right. It's Washington, D.C. It's kind of in Maryland and Virginia. It kind of shares those boundaries. Let's see. We have some mountain ranges all over this map. We have two huge mountain ranges in America. One's on the East Coast. One's on the West. The one on the West, you might know it. It's called the Rocky Mountains. The Rocky Mountains start almost down in Mexico. They kind of go through Colorado and Wyoming and Montana and Idaho, and they kind of stretch all the way into Canada going up there. The other mountain chain starts near Georgia, Carolinas over here. It's called the Appalachian Mountains. And it kind of runs up through almost all the way up into New York. These Appalachian Mountains are older mountains than the Rocky Mountains. They've been around longer. They've gotten worn down from erosion and time. So the hills are not as steep as the Rocky Mountains. You'll find some tall mountains over here. Let's even look on the west coast of Oregon. We got some mountain chains. You've heard of the Cascade Mountains, perhaps, with the volcanoes, Mount Hood, Mount McLaughlin, and then we're surrounded by the Siskiyous. And then in California, you have your Sierra Nevadas with Yosemite Park. And this map is fun. 50 states. Let's look for another capital, huh? Let's see. What's the capital of Oregon? Well, I think I said that, but maybe you can spot it here. Boom, Salem. Let's go up to Washington, our neighbor to the north. Do you know the capital? Do you see it? It's Olympia. What states border Oregon? Well, we have Idaho, Washington. What's on the bottom? Probably know California. Nevada, did you know that? Kind of borders it out in the southeast corner. What's the capital of Nevada? Looks like Carson City. Got Vegas down here. Let's check out one of the biggest rivers in the United States. It's the mighty Mississippi. So this squiggly boundary line is actually the Mississippi River. Where does it start? Well, it starts all the way almost in Canada, up in the headwaters up in Minnesota and Wisconsin, and the Mississippi flows down going south. And some cities, a lot of towns lie on the Mississippi, St. Louis, Memphis, and the river flows out past New Orleans into the Gulf of Mexico. Pretty sweet. If I were to look for Utah, where would you find Utah? Well, maybe you know, maybe you don't, but it's on the west, and here it is, the state of Utah. What's the capital? Salt Lake City. Where would we find the state West Virginia? Even though it says West, I mean, you might know, hey, Virginia's over here. You might have saw it. West Virginia, right there. What about Arkansas? I'm going to have fun looking at this map. This map's so big. What's the capital of Arkansas? Little Rock. There it is. Yeah, I'm going to be looking at this one for a while. Got to find a good place to hang it. It's so huge. Where can we find Maine? Maine is a New England state. It's kind of all the way up here in the Northeast, past New York. You got Connecticut and Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire. Maine, way up there. What's the capital of Maine? Augusta. Pretty cool map, huh? Here's the 5 Great Lakes. Can you name them all? We have Lake Superior. It's the Big Daddy Lake. We got Lake Michigan, where Chicago and Milwaukee is on the borders. And then we have Lake Huron, Lake Erie, and Lake Ontario. Those are the 5 freshwater lakes. They're huge. Yeah, here we go back on the West Coast. Let's check out in the land where we live. Coming down in. Hey, there's Crater Lake. Nice. Some of the ocean towns. There's so much to look on in this map. There's so much to look at. It's pretty fun. Well, thanks for joining me and looking at my map with me today. Hope you had fun. Bye.